women get trapped in their perfection syndrome, and it also comes from a belief, could be a societal belief, childhood belief, where they have been constantly told that they are not good enough, and that kind of plays a very very major role in the way the women think. It's not a default factor, right? Nobody is born to think like that.
You're watching Not Just Auntie with Suman Chhabria-Addepalli.
Hi Radhika, welcome to Not Just Auntie. I'll give a brief introduction about you. You are a founder of Wevolve Labs. It is your mission to help 100,000 individuals live a life of passion and purpose. I want to share this immense gyan with all the ladies out there who are looking for this kind of guidance and mentorship which you have to offer, and you have been giving a lot of these insights on LinkedIn. So welcome to the show and please share all your gyan with us.
Thank you, Suman, for getting me on this platform. Not just auntie sounds great, and yes, we get a lot of gyan. Gyan is abundance in this world, but how many of us actually achieve the result that we are looking for? And that's where CXO incubator came into picture, where it is not just about gyan. It is all about how do you get results, how do you convert that gyan into application and take the next step, take the leap and move forward and surge ahead. So it's a platform for mid to senior level professionals who are in the process of designing their C-suite journey. So we help them with executive group coaching and help them take that leap.
I'll get on to the dope, which is the questions that women want answers to. A lot of women don't have mentors who are women. And it has been seen that a lot of women leave their career midway for biological reasons, which is what this whole platform is about. There are women who are homemakers, there are women who are entrepreneurs, and there are women who are corporate leaders, and everyone has their own journey. But a lot of times, what we need is what the men in the C-suite have, which is male mentors. There are a lot of male mentors because they see their career to the finish line. But a lot of women who leave their career midway, they're not able to reach a position where they can handhold and mentor the juniors. So that is exactly what I'm looking for in this interview for all the women and even men who are watching, like a hand holding of sorts from a person who's actually doing C-suite and leadership coaching at a professional level. So my first question is, I read this article which you put out there on LinkedIn explaining how one can make their New Year resolutions manifest. Like a lot of times we make resolutions and we don't live up to them, or we probably chase them for a month or so and then we give up. And we find ourselves at the end of the year with the same unachieved resolution. So I remember I read some remarkable insights in that. So could you put those concepts out here on video?
A quick question: have you ever tried to lose weight?
Yeah, it's like an ongoing journey.
And how many times have you made a resolution at the beginning of the year to say, I want to lose X kilos?
I think it's been almost every year since I had my children because before that weight was not a problem.
Superb. Now tell me, Suman, every time you make a plan to lose weight, I'm sure you're a very well-read person. You have all the information that is available to you to understand how to lose weight. What are the top three things you would do if you have to lose weight?
Of course, exercise. Exercise is a part of life, and I mean, I think I'm alive because of it. The other
Mm-hmm.
thing is reduce carbs, the intake of carbohydrates, and more so in the night. And I think the significant thing is to wake up early and sleep early, which is the most challenging thing for me.
Superb. So, but why is the result not coming?
Um, See, it's not that I haven't got results. I have achieved significant results, but it's just that I want more. I want more.
Correct.
So
No, that's good
that
to have. It's good to ask for more, but why that more result is not coming?
Because maybe it's not so important in the other scheme of things, and maybe other things which are more important take over. Like if I have to read a book, and or if I have to edit like one of these videos at night, I will sit up late knowing that staying up at night is not good for me, but I do it.
Superb. So, I mean, I wanted to take this example to just explain that there are a lot of goals we set which are something we really want. And there is absolutely no harm in making those goals. But the reality is we don't achieve results because our why is not very clear. Our priorities are very different from what our dreams are. And that is the real reason why goals are not reaching their end result. Simple example, if your daughter is unwell and you have to leave aside everything to nurture her, you would do it, right?
Absolutely.
That day you would take off from anything and everything. And why? Because your why is very clear with respect to your daughter, that come what may, I am there for her, and when she needs me, I will be there for her 100%. This is what happens often with our goals. The kind of why we have, that bond we have with our daughter or our children, that same bond we don't have with ourselves. We may have it for few aspects, but we may not have it for all the aspects. The areas where you're growing, your why is very clear. The areas where you're struggling, your why is not clear. And that is the primary reason which does not help us go towards our goals. So, few things as you asked. Step one is, of course, identifying the goals that you wish to have. Number two is know the why. Number three is don't hesitate to pivot. After a few months, you understand that I am not really working on this. Ask yourself if you're really liking to do it, or if that goal is something just a fantasy that you're chasing, but for which you really are not ready for it. So it's okay not to trouble yourself with such goals, but actually run after those goals where you know that you can contribute your best, and be that, and where your why is clear and your energies are going to come forward to create an output or an outcome. So it's good to focus on those goals rather than chasing all the rabbits on the ground.
Well said. And I really resonated with the fact that you said that, when it's a child's illness, we will give it all and we are not so important. So, just for the sake of the public at large, can you give another example of why?
I mean, I will share it from my own personal experience. One of the times, the first time when I'll take weight loss as an example, because that's like always a very area of struggle for most women, and almost everybody I know wants to become thinner, fitter, leaner, fit into all kinds of clothes that you're really looking for. So I'll give you my example. Most of us want to lose weight, and this was also something which was important for me. So when I gave birth to my child, I was almost 75 kilos. Okay. And I have never touched that zone. So I knew that I was not feeling energetic. I was feeling very lethargic. I was not able to do all the activities that I actually wanted to do. So, and I knew I have to get back to my shape. Okay. That was something which was there. So I worked on it, and from 75, uh, within a matter of 1.5 years, I was very, very harsh on myself. Be very strict, regimented, diet, exercise, this. And I just focused on it, and I started losing weight, and 75 to 65 ho gaya.
Wow.
So that was not a challenge. I mean, of course, a 1 year journey was there. I was hard on myself, and it happened. But from 65, it was not coming down at all.
Oh.
And I was not, and honestly, after that, I was like pretty okay, let it be. If I would try to do the same thing that I did for reducing that first 10 kilos, but I realized that's not working anymore for me. Also, my own motivation levels was quite low. I said, हो गया ना 10 किलो और क्या कितना चाहिए चलेगा अभी यहीं पे we will sustain. That's when I started there was a shift. I wanted to go for a trek, and I saw all my friends going for treks. People going to. I had gone to Ladakh once, and I saw the great Himalayas, and then I was really fascinated by the mountains. And I said, "Mujhe, I want to climb this mountain and see how it feels. I wanted to go for that experience." And then I said, okay, that became a bigger why for me compared to my earlier why. So for me, going for that mountain, so every day, again the regiment started. Waking up at morning 5 o'clock, going for that exercise, focusing on diet because with 65 it was not possible to reach where I want to reach because I have to become fitter. And now my goal was not to reduce weight. My goal was to ensure that I am fit enough so that I can climb the mountain and complete the base camp trek, which I did in 2019. And it was a very beautiful experience, of course. And it was so nice that in the process, I started losing weight. So losing weight did not become my primary goal. So every day I would wake up and see the mountains of Himalayas either on my phone or have a picture of it and keep it. And every time I have to say, "Oh, I don't want to wake up today morning." And then, no, 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 you have to wake up. See, Himalayas is calling, so let me go and do it. So like that, there are many reasons why which inspire us to take the next step apart from the basic level of dealing with our why. So that is something we have to discover for ourselves to figure out where is it that my interest lies and what is it that I have to do. And that's when your why starts becoming stronger. And when your why is strong, your energy flows to it.
Fabulous answer, yeah, Radhika. Thank you so much. And I think it gives all of us an idea of at least how we can get to the next level in the weight loss journey. More, we'll come to the career coaching in the next question. How necessary do you think career coaching is for women today? Because it's a relatively new field, and we are just beginning to hear about this. So, if you can guide us as to why this is important.
Let me give you a small example. So when I was working in Standard Chartered Bank, I was about 36 years old. And at that point of time, I had already had two breaks in my career. And then I had rejoined. And in this process, I had gained a lot more experience than what I was doing the job for. And I realized that I am much and I am larger than the job I am doing. And this led me to question as to how do I take the next leap. You know what, life is not very linear in its approach. Life has, you can take multiple paths to reach the same goal. I always had this dream of being a leader. I always felt the leader in me, and in terms of guiding people, in terms of helping them go forward. So when I was facing this challenge, I was looking for people who could help me sort this out. It's largely about mindset. It's largely someone who could handhold you to the next level, someone who could understand you for who you are, not for telling you an advice which you already know. I can tell you everybody knows their shortcomings, but how many of you know your strengths? How many of you actually can convert your strengths into an actionable or into a career? These are the areas which where coaching steps in. Coaching is not about advisory. Coaching is not about dwelling into your past. It's not a therapy, but it is all about recreating a future, designing a path which is unique to you. All our life we have been taught, the reason we think the way we think is because right from school we go from level 1 to level 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6. We believe that in organizations we have to grow from level 1 to 3, 4. Sometimes we go to fourth and we get stuck. In school we call it a failure. So we associate that being stuck means I can't grow from here on. And these are all the challenges and the mindset which play within us in a very subtle manner without we actually understanding it. And hence, coaching steps in and helps. If I can help a teenager choose a career, at 40 you can recreate your career, redesign it in the fashion you want it. Because 20 years back, what the way you chose your career may or may not be relevant for you today. And it's a time to get back on the drawing board and actually replan it. And that's where coaching is really is taking a lot of help. People are coming forward to take help with respect to coaching. I would like to give one small anecdote here.
Sure, sure.
So when our grandfathers were working, okay, they chose any job that that came their way. Whatever they got, they took it up. With our parents, probably many of them did some education, and they stuck to the career that they got. They chose. Probably many of them did not even change their jobs. They continued in the same job for 30, 25, 30, 40 years, and they
Right.
retired. The life was simple: earn, learn, earn, retire. But we are not that material anymore, because we have crossed those two. Whatever probably our parents had as goals for them over a 30-year period, we may have achieved in 15 years or sometimes 20 years. Now, what next? And we don't restrict ourselves to one job, one career. We actually are in a zone and in a beautiful era where we can choose multiple jobs, multiple careers. And and that's when the choice is so much that it's good to come back to drawing board to see which choice is the right choice for you and how do you discover it. And that's where coaching really really helps.
So it is always said, focus on your strengths and build on it. But what if you realize your strengths 10 years into your career? Again, taking on from what you just explained, that you can go back to the drawing board, but in India especially, like you're asked to choose your profession at the age of 16, like what you do in your junior, and sometimes it is not only your senior college, but the choices you make, like in terms of maths, chemistry, or science subjects, and then you cannot go into the humanities. And if you choose humanities, you cannot, and so on and so forth. So, what if you have spent 10 years with the choice that you have made at the age of 16? Everyone cannot go back to the drawing board when there are bills to pay, because you actually will not be received well, and everyone is looking for the experience, and then you're expected to become an intern and start from scratch. So by the age of 26, I probably have a couple of EMIs that I'm paying, and this is a very difficult call for people to take. Just to give you a wild example, like I am senior marketing manager in an FMCG company, and I suddenly feel that I want to be a fashion designer. I have to go back and get an education. So how do you transition through this?
Excellent question, and this is one of the key areas that we focus as part of the coaching program and the CXO incubator. And we do help professionals understand their strengths, and this is the exact space from where we work. Question has two three parts to it, so I'll address them one by one. So yes, you understood your strength at a later stage in your life. Okay, honestly I'll tell you, you already are using your strengths, but it's just that you are not aware of it. So what is a strength? Strength is something that comes very easily to you, for which you actually take it for granted. So I went and jumped into commerce, not knowing what commerce was, because my dad thought finance was the right field for me, as it was a booming field in back then. And so he said he thought my daughter will get a good job. So the objective of choosing the career was to get a good job. And I did not do any research, and I just jumped into it without knowing my strengths. I was always oriented towards science and mathematics, etc. But I didn't choose. I went along with that, and then subsequently I landed up in a job, and I finished my CA also. Again, when I completed my CA, at the end of the CA, I told my dad, "Dad, take this certificate. I'm no longer going to do anything to do related to CA. I am done with it." So I realized that I don't like to do a job with taxation. I don't like to do a job in company secretary. I don't like to do a job with accounts. I don't like to do a job with audit. What do I do? These are the 8 subjects which are there in CA, right? So back then I chose that, okay, finance is the common word. So let me join bank. And then I jumped into the bank and they put me in the audit department initially. And because that's what my CV says, right? People are going to look at what my CV is saying. And this is one of the biggest challenge because as a, as a teenager, sometimes I tell my some of my teenage coaches also that if you are willing to or having multiple interests, you have to develop experience in each of these areas. Forget about the knowledge part, but build experience. But I didn't do anything. I was constantly focusing on CA. So naturally, people chose me for that job.
Yes.
2 years, 2.5 years down the line, I realized I can't survive here. It's something not for me. And I have to move. And I realized that uh, talking to people, finding solutions, you know, collaborating to put a product together was something I enjoyed and was looking forward to do it. And then I looked for internal job postings and I moved to another job. So where I am coming from is at the age of 40, for me, I transitioned from being a banker for 15 years with a very rich corporate experience to becoming a coach. I learned my strengths. I understood that I transitioned from a hardcore finance field to a humanities area, so to say, today. Okay, but the transition happened. So, how do these transitions happen? Few things. Top number one is always focus on what you really like to do, because where your heart is where you can give your energy. Often people make the mistake of choosing, a lot of people are taking these executive programs in digital transformation, in blockchain and many more areas completely because it's a trending
Absolutely.
subjects.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't spend time to understand if they will really enjoy doing the work there. It's one thing that you enjoy gaining a knowledge in one thing, and it's one thing to enjoy doing that job day in and day out. I'm sure you will understand that not every people can become content managers for the kind of effort that you have to do. It's very nice to see a video on that and laugh about it, and you do a fantastic job of it. But I know you can understand the background. So much thought process goes behind it, and so much of creativity is involved. And people may feel nice from outside, but it's not something they really can actually do it every day. So that is where pivoting helps. One has to keep trying. They have to explore, expose themselves to new areas of work and see what they like in it, what they don't like in it. Keep a journal and keep identifying what you like, what you don't like, what you like, what you don't like. And over a period of 6 months, when you are actually focused in doing this with yourself and very, very disciplined and accountable to yourself, that's when you will start getting that a stream of things that you feel that you have created a niche for yourself. Now the third part you asked about is how do I restart? Do I need to go back to the drawing board? Absolutely not. I'll tell you two reasons. Every waking moment of yours is an experience. It's all about how you want to narrate your story, your exposure, your experience, and see what is it that the employer is going to receive because he is employing you. And that is the key factor. Honestly, when you can add a value to that employer, the employer is really not bothered how much of it you know, because usko kaam finish karna hai. That's the transaction that we are entering into. An employee comes to finish the job. The employer requires the job to be finished because he has certain commitments at the back, either to gain, the top line increases or profitability increases or there is a cost cutting, whatever it is. So you are just a contributor in that process, and how best you can be the contributor helps you navigate that path.
Thanks a lot, Radhika. Actually, you have answered the question perfectly in the way you broke it down. Very, again, pertinent that you will not start from the drawing board and you can bring to the table your experience. In fact, this takes me back to my
So
pets.
I will give you one example. Sorry, I just recollected. So I have one. I know of a person. She is now 54 years of age, and she's a cost accountant by profession,
Acha.
and she took a break. She took a break from her career and all when she was 26 years of age. So she got two children, and she completely devoted her time for child rearing and taking care.
Okay.
When she was 48 or so, 48, 49, her children grew up. They all went to colleges. They started having their own life, and she became an empty nester, and so to say. She decided that she wants to go and experience corporate world. While during her 25 years of being a homemaker, she also was very passionate about organizing events. So
Okay.
be it any event at home, in the society, in the complex, for her husband's office, for whoever it is, she would just jump into the fray and keep doing it. And she narrated that whole story to her new employer and said that I am going to do these things for your organization. It's a law firm, imagine. It's not even an event organizing company. It's a law firm. And she said that you're a law firm. You have to connect with so many lawyers across the
Yeah.
board and on an international platform.
Hmm.
I will be the enabler for you to help you connect all of them because I am very good with connecting people. And I love to organize events. So you are a bunch of lawyers who cannot organize events.
Yeah.
I will organize events and I will connect you all together. And she backed the role of head of operations. And because she's also very good with her accounts, she over a period of time she became head of accounts. And today she's a director of that law firm in a span of 5 years.
This is a spectacular
That's
story.
how that's how
Spectacular.
transformation happens.
Wow.
So often people fail to understand their strengths. They don't showcase their strengths. And remember, that is your gold. You don't need to go on accumulating more and more from outside. The more you start giving, the more you experience value from yourself to others, and others also realize your value.
This is a spectacular story. Also, I think this gives hope to a lot of women who have taken a break due to being the primary caregiver and taking of care of things back home, which again, there is no accounting. Like you said, that every breath of yours, you're learning something, every waking moment. So, if someone can actually evaluate and capture what women do during the years or the months and the unending days, months, and years that when they take care of their families, I mean, there is no other degree that can match up to it.
No, absolutely. And even as another key thing that I always like to share is keep on updating yourself. Be up to date to where, while I said knowledge alone does not help, that doesn't mean learning has to stop.
True.
Always I tell that along with learning, identify ways to share the learning. Learn, share, relearn. Because that process is what helps you convert your knowledge into an application. And today's world is all about apps.
Application, yes. And in this case, I especially the example, the awesome example which you shared, Radhika, I think it is also her enthusiasm, the energy which she brings to the table. I think what an employer is always looking for when we see a candidate, we are looking at the energy they bring to the table, the energy and the optimism. And from whatever you have shared, I think her optimism, the optimism and the enthusiasm to get back to the corporate world, I think she was ready to do anything. Right. So,
Exactly. See, the challenge was, I would like to say that she operated from a level of a giver. She didn't operate from a level of somebody who is asking. When you keep asking for
exactly.
things, you get very little. But when you are ready to share and give, you get much more than what you actually ask for.
I love this example because it gives a lot of hope to women out there who feel that, oh my God, अभी मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ, मुझे कौन hire करेगा? And I think a lot of women, and these are interviews which I've had with even many founders and CXOs in the channel, entrepreneurs who keep saying that women will always second guess themselves. They will always say, ki, no, I'm not 100% there. Whereas a man will take the same job at 70% and he'll say, I can do it.
Absolutely. And exactly. I mean, I have seen this. I have actually done this experiment with two of my coaches, and they both came to me saying that I have got this job offer. What should I do? And after a little bit of discussion, the man actually told me that I think I can take it forward. There is no problem. And the lady actually told me, but I am not yet ready. And I had to tell her, when do you think you're going to be ready? Until and unless you do it, you don't know whether you're ready.
Like men will say, ho jayega, even if they're not, there's 30% minus of the skills required. They'll say, ho jayega. हम कर लेंगे, हम सीख लेंगे. So I've seen this across my career that women will say, nahi, I'll go and do a course to fill up that gap of 30%, but till then I won't join your company. So this is really, really very important.
Women get trapped in their perfection syndrome, and it also comes from a belief, could be a societal belief, childhood belief, where they have been constantly told that they are not good enough, and that kind of plays a very very major role in the way the women think. It's not a default factor, right? Nobody is born to think like that, but it's something that we as women have to support and encourage, not just our daughters but also our friends, our peers, our colleagues, to say that it's okay, and give interest to them, to say that I know you can do it, go ahead and do it. So when as a coach, often people lean on to that confidence and to that transformation, to that mindset change, so that they can grow.
Lovely, lovely. Radhika, so far we have talked about people who eventually find what they love, and then it's all about the transition. So my question is, and I have had friends who say, ki, "Arey, I don't know only what I like. Matlab, I like 10 things." So a lot of times people feel attracted by many compelling fields, and they feel equally. Like I'll say, okay, in my case, I know that I really enjoy creative content creation, but I can count at least 20 people I know, and it's gender agnostic. There are men and women who feel that I can do three things equally well, and I don't know what is my ikagai or ikagai, however you pronounce it. So, what is the way forward for such people? Because they are living lives which are not like you call, passionate and purposeful lives. They're just living one day after another, and they're okay with it.
Superb. Very, very relevant question, because it's like one of my favorite questions as well. Reason I'll tell you, because at one point of time I did feel that I have multiple talents. So I was very,
I,
very
I know. Actually, I will introduce that somewhere in the conversation. In fact, I'll introduce it now. You're an excellent singer. I think you're a trained singer. Am I right? You're a qualified CA professional. And I think you're a qualified trekker also. Is it? Am I right in saying that?
not qualified a passionate trekker.
Because of our past association, I remember that you're equally passionate about all these topics. So please answer the question.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting challenge to deal with for people who have multiple talents. And since I also realized it quite late in life, because when I was a young kid, teenage, etc., I used to sing. I was very happy with it, and किसी ने बोला नहीं कि you can actually train yourself to the next level to take
And
it up or something,
have a career in
and
singing.
or even have a career. So it was always a hobby. It was always a hobby, which means that when you have to study, you will keep your hobbies aside and you will focus on your studies. And over a period of time, CA has been such an intensive course that I really didn't pursue any of my hobbies, and I over a period of time it just got discontinued. You get into an equally intensive job, your house, your family grows, you have more responsibilities, everything kind of shut down. In fact, today when I get awarded as a LinkedIn top voice for all the content creation that I do on LinkedIn, it my 20-year-old self will be really surprised, because I never wrote anything in my life. Because as a child I was always told that तुम्हारा English बहुत खराब है, you don't know to write. And with time, for me getting past that English exam paper was like really a challenge. So it was more like, चलो 12th के बाद I don't have to learn the language, so I am done with it types. But today, when the whole situation and the scenario has changed, and I realized that my content actually has improved, or rather it began, and it nourished, and it has reached a state of excellence also because I found a purpose, because I am able to share whatever I am thinking in the language and in the manner that I feel it is relevant for others. So it's a new career which has now suddenly opened out to me. It's not something that existed at all for me in the past. And so that's one. Number two was, there are a lot of things we like to do, but ask yourself, if you want to have a career, which are those things which you can convert it into making money out of it. So career is all about converting your passion and also earning money from it. So identify, if you're multi-talented, please, 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 my request, continue what you're doing. Choose one or two things from which you can which can be a career in itself. Not all the five things that you like may be your career. Choose which one you want to make a career and try it out. Try it for 6 months and see how well you're able to build it as a business. Because it's one thing to like something, it's one thing to build a business out of it, where people pay you for it. So, for example, with my singing, when I train to be a singer, I do it because I love doing it. But if do I really see it as something where I can right now think of converting it into a classes or take it to the next level? I don't see it. So it remains as a good hobby for me. I will go enjoy, learn singing, perform, practice, do everything that is required, but it will not be my primary career. Trekking. Can I actually be a trekker? Can I make a plan and take 10 people on board and for a long trek and keep doing it every day? Practically that's what trekkers do. Probably not. So I love trekking. I will do it at my time and pace. So I enjoy doing it. So I will continue doing it. But again, it will not become my career. But with respect to writing, I enjoy writing now. Practically every day I write some article or the other. I don't care whether I get published in any big newspaper or small newspaper or just on LinkedIn. I just keep on writing. Can I make that into a career? Yes. Will I enjoy it? Yes. But will I enjoy coaching more than writing being a content writer? I will enjoy coaching more because that's more transformative in nature and it helps a larger segment of people. So
Right.
then for me, these two become a combination for me, and where I am able to coach through my content and I coach as a separate one-on-one with people and bring about the transformation. So you have to really delve into yourself to understand which are the areas that you want to really convert.
I think one of the other points which you made, which is very, it's like a guiding step. You mentioned that try it out for 6 months, and I have done that. So I had this passion for urban gardening, and I did make a business out of it. It worked. I mean, it was successful. It was profitable. But about a year or so into, and in spite of having the biggest clients, I realized that labor issues are rampant in this sector. And I felt that as the years advance, I don't want to be dealing with this kind of thing. And actually, the fun which urban gardening used to give me, or gardening per se, was getting lost in managing all those labor issues. So I think that is a very, very good idea, that try it out for a year. And of course, for a lot of people, it means also keep structuring your finances in such a way that it doesn't set you back in a very significant way. So I think finding your purpose is a short way to success. I think that is what I have got from this entire interview, that if you have your purpose, success cannot be far behind. Am I right in saying that?
Absolutely right.
Yes, what I also find a lot of people do is they start it as a side hustle. They keep doing little things on a weekend, Saturdays, Sundays. They devote their 100% time for that next thing that they want to explore. They volunteer in organizations. See, for a lot of senior people who are like thinking of what next for me, they do take up a lot of volunteering activities to help startups set up their business, to give them advices, to help somebody else in a digital space, etc. And in the process, they discover. It's a process of discovery. It is not a binary factor. It's like hai to hai, nahi hai to nahi hai. And women also try out. In fact, I know of one of them during lockdown, 2020. She just started her business as a, in January 2020, she started her business as a food supplier. Okay, she was making her home food and she was supplying it to people. And if the lockdown happened, and for suddenly her business boomed. Initial first week, I actually called her to check how are things with you. Initial first week, nobody was ordering and everything was shut down. So I had a chat with her and I told her, listen, I feel this is going to take off because hotels are shutting down. People are not going to go out. If you're going to supply fancy food like the way you do, people are going to homemade and people are going to take it to the next level. Okay, so just hang in there for some time and take a call, which she did. And today she actually has to employ people to manufacture everything because it's no more just a home business for her. And coming
Yes.
to the other point, this side hustle business is also very, because I know of women also who over the weekends, they try out. For example, if you're passionate about urban gardening, there are many of them who come back, or some of them are bakers. They are just doing it to. Two things happen, Suman here. One is how many people know you as either a baker or a urban gardener or whatever you are looking to create the next identity. The first step is always to check out whether how much I like doing it and how much others are willing to take it. Now that will be an investment for all these factors.
Yes.
It cannot be that you do it, कुछ भी free में होता है तो उसका value नहीं होता है. So even when I do coaching free, the person is not going to receive anything because we get air and water free and we don't respect it. And we are really in a state where we are in today. So every time there is an exchange of money, you become more committed and accountable for it. So initial phase, that investment helps you take yourself seriously. And when you reach there is when the next steps come. So I also experimented, tried starting up, did one hyper local marketplace for home entrepreneurs. I started a digital platform. Now it's almost 7-8 years before Instagram boomed and before TikTok and everything else came. So the platform was supposed to bring all the home entrepreneurs to provide them with a niche, who are providing niche products, and help the basically working women reach out to that group of women, because as a working woman I was never having access to all these building groups.
Radhika, recall this. This was even before WhatsApp was there. This WhatsApp
Yes,
came after this WhatsApp groups,
yes,
and so your idea was
yes.
ahead of its time.
Yeah. That also happens, and we wound it up after spending a lot of time, money, effort into it. We wound it up, but that's the learning in your life.
Yes.
But because of that, I got the next break. I joined Standard Chartered at the director level immediately because they said that you have so much experience. My people don't have this experience. Please come on, join on board.
So that's
So
amazing.
where and how the experiences really help you, you don't know, and they always come around and help you. It all depends on how you want to take it forward to share it with the world.
Right, right. I mean, it's like it's connecting the dots. Every drop counts and nothing is wasted. The sharing of your own story is a fantastic example, Radhika, because you had a failed startup. You had a very stable job as a director of a huge bank, and you have still made this move and you have made it before COVID. So I think this is all the inspiration that one can get. And you're saying that you are in the kind of demand that you're facing is something because of which you'll need to expand your team. Thanks a lot, Radhika. I think you have thrown light on a lot of dilemmas that people suffer from in the course of their career. And our careers are long enough that we can pivot, we can move towards goals that bring out the fire in us or burn the fire in us and make us happy. So, thank you for answering all these questions. And as a closing note, I want to ask if you have any other points you would like to share.
When I joined the corporate bandwagon at 20, I thought that 40 will be the key time for me to reach the topmost level in my career. I crossed 40. I did not reach where I wanted to reach, but I restarted at that point of time. So, for all those women who are there thinking whether I can really do it, I would say just go for it.
Thank you so much for sharing these very, very valid. And I think this interview is going to be like the lighthouse for a lot of people to look up to. And it will stay on the net for the longest time. Thank you so much, Radhika, for your time.
Most welcome. Most welcome, Suman. Thank you so much.
I am a content creator. I love doing, what is the third thing I love doing? I don't know. Yeah, I love doing. Okay, are you done? I thought you're speaking. I thought the screen froze.
No. I normally freeze after I complete because that's how I do my video recording so that I can edit properly.
Yeah. That's very good. I just thought it froze, like, and then I saw that you're blinking. So sorry about that.
You're watching Not Just Aunty with Suman Chhabria-Addepalli.